You know what day it is. Let's do another tarot reading. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Karen, and today I'll be reading from the Tarot of Mystical Moments deck by Katrine Wellstein. This deck comes with a nice little booklet, and if you'd like to purchase it, I'm going to leave some links for it in the description below. Beautiful foil on the edges here. Nice large cards, glossy, and the artwork is just gorgeous. While I shuffle, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, and if you could also do a thumbs up, I'd appreciate that. It helps for other people to find this channel and find this video. It helps the algorithm. Thank you for that. I would love it also if you would leave me a comment and let me know what is your favorite genre of music. What kind of music do you like to listen to? I have a very eclectic taste, so I'm just kind of exploring what other people listen to. Do you like exploring new music, or do you like to listen to the stuff that you already like? Let me know. Who's your favorite band? What's your favorite song? Anything to do with music. Okay, let's start the reading. I'm gonna turn on these lights. Got these little safe USB lights that don't require a flame, which is nice because I'm always a little worried with cats being in the house. So when I just want the candlelight without having flames around, I use these. But I also have regular candles. I also make candles. Okay. What should we read about today? How about new beginnings? New interests, new loves, something new. King of Pentacles. The Empress. These are usually parental figures, maybe ideal parents, maybe not necessarily your real parents, but the kind of parents that you wish you had had, or the kind of parenting that you need. You know, as you get older, you realize that ultimately you have to be your own parent. Part of being an adult is learning how to be the inner parent to your inner child. And I'm just getting this parental energy here. Maybe you are interested in starting a family and becoming a parent. And so when we asked about what's new in your world, what's coming up for you, we got these two figures, which are a sort of father and mother figure in the deck. Let's see what else comes up. The Magician. You have some amazing potential for alchemizing some of the energy that is your inner parental energy, or the ideal parent. And like a lot of people, you might not have had ideal parents. Nobody really does. Even if your parents meant well, they were human. And yet you have this sort of ability, and you're gaining this ability to alchemize, or to use what they gave you, whatever it was, the good and the bad, and turn it into something that brings light to this world. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is a new project or a new business. If you're thinking of starting a new business or a new venture, maybe a new way for you to sell your art, or a new kind of project that requires a bit of creative energy. Maybe you're using your origin story, your backstory, to create something new. And it could be something where you are solving a problem that you are aware of because of what you saw your parents go through. Maybe it's some kind of counseling or some kind of support that you're able to provide to people who have been through what you've been through. That's a very valuable thing that you can do right now for the world. And see, we see the Magician. So the Magician is somebody who can take the elements that she has around her and create something new out of it. She can create gold out of lead. She can create a wonderful dish out of basic ingredients that everybody might have in their kitchen, and so on and so forth. So the idea is that these cards are suggesting that it's a very positive outlook for you to start something new. The moon, so you're getting a lot of major arcana cards. You've got the Magician, you've got the Empress, you've got the Moon, and okay, so you have the Moon and the Nine of Swords, and then these have to do with insomnia. So this might be something that's blocking you, is your inability to sleep or your inability to manage your sleep cycle, or maybe you're having dreams that are disturbing, and that might be something that is stopping you. Three of Wands. See, it's stopping you from launching. Three of Wands is like about launching. And so maybe you are hindered by the way that you are unable to manage your schedule. Maybe it's hurting your ability to be awake during the day. Five of Swords. So you've got a kind of conflict also, and that might be what's bothering you. So I want to explore this more. Where is this conflict coming from? Ten of Cups. So someone, Knight of Swords, someone is in your life who doesn't really maybe want you to be happy. It could be somebody you've known your whole life, or somebody who might be in your immediate vicinity. Maybe somebody that you might want to reconcile with, but they do not necessarily have your best interest at heart. In fact, they don't necessarily like seeing you happy. So this could be a longtime friend whose friendship you've outgrown, or maybe even a relative or a family member who just does not seem to be able to have your good intentions. So they might be seeing you as somebody who's just self-righteous. They feel insulted by you sometimes, though. There's a sense of that they feel that you're not paying them enough attention, or that you have had it too good, or something like that. So there's a kind of condescension that they feel, and they feel the bitterness towards you. If you can think of someone like that, be careful, because they might be hiding something up their sleeve. They might even be acting like they're your friend, and they might not be. So you seem to be hanging on to them because you feel a sense of obligation. So that's the Six of Pentacles. That usually means something to do with philanthropy, charity, giving back to those who are less fortunate, things like that. So you, in the context of this reading, I think you might be feeling that you want to help them, that you want to save them on some level. But honestly, if this is a person, or it could be a group of people even, they do not necessarily have your best interest. So how do you recognize them? How can you recognize them? What I'm getting is that these are people who don't respect your boundaries. These are people who, a person or people, who tend to step on your boundaries, who tend to kind of watch you from afar, but also tend to push your boundaries, or maybe they say something that's a little insulting now and then, or they expect more from you than you're able to give, or they wake you up when you're sleeping, or they hinder your life in some way, in just these sort of microaggression ways where you might not even notice it. It might be very subtle, or it might be something that you chalk up to, well, that's just how they are. But at some point you have to realize that it's not just how they are. They are basically trying to throw you off your game. And so, Eight of Wands, it's time to make a decision, and quick decisions have to be made. You might feel a sense of obligation. This Knight of Swords is about having a mission, having a sense of obligation, but it could also be that you are avoiding making a decision about this person or these people because they give you a sense of purpose. Maybe you have seen yourself as part of their group, or they have given you a sense of identity, and you're having a hard time letting that go. So you're holding on to something that's already not working out, right? So while we have all these wonderful cards, and you have a great story that you're trying to make into something beautiful, you're trying to grow something new out of what you have had, but you've got all this blockage, and a lot of it has to do with you sort of thinking that you owe something to somebody who does not really appreciate it, and you not wanting to make decisions because you're afraid of losing a sense of identity, which has been tied up with this person or these people who have kind of taken advantage of you. Knight of Pentacles. So, Knight of Pentacles, this is about making a decision. It's about walking away and deciding that you're going to be your own knight and you're going to take care of yourself. And a lot of times we look for in others the thing that we need and that we wish somebody would give us. But the best thing to do is to give it to yourself. It's much easier to find people to be friends with or to be in relationship with or to be in community with in a healthy way if you are not looking at them as people who can fill the deepest, darkest holes in your heart. Whatever gaps you have, you're not going to get that, especially from people who do not appreciate who you are and who are keeping secrets and who are going behind your back and who are undercutting you. Okay? So it's very important for you to understand that you can hold what you need in yourself, and you don't need to get that from other people. You need other people to be in community with. You need other people to have relationships with, to be friends with, to learn from, to teach. But it's not the same thing as being sort of codependent on other people and relying on other people to fill you up in ways that really only you can do for yourself. That's very important. And you're going to find healthier people once you have dealt with your inner attachment issues. That's very important. It's not the end of the relationship. It's not the end of all relationships. It's just the end of negative relationships and the end of these burdens that you've been carrying, thinking that you've been carrying these flowers. But even flowers, after a while, you're carrying too many of them, right? You're carrying a lot of burdens and you need to let it go. And you need to get in touch with your inner emotional self, and you need to allow yourself to feel the emotion. Some of it has to do with mourning. Some of it has to do with the grief of knowing that maybe these relationships or person or people that you knew is just not healthy for you, and it's time to let them go and draw your boundaries and pull into yourself so that you don't have to hold on to anything that's hurting you anymore. And you can instead hold on to the world that you need. This is a beautiful card, because here is a figure who is sitting looking at the moon while holding the whole world in her lap. And she's on a rooftop and she's alone and there's all these stars, because she's really coming into herself. She is becoming a whole person. And she understands that she can have the whole world, access to the whole world, the whole universe is there for her. But it's better than holding on to a building that's collapsing. Hold on to all the things that you need from this world. Basically, find a way to be your best friend, to be your inner mother, to be your inner father, to be your inner child, to be your inner magician, to give yourself the love and validation that you wish somebody else would give you. That is the best way to make sure that you are not being abused and misused by people who can see where your vulnerabilities are and take advantage of that. And then you find healthy people who have gone through something similar in their own life to connect with. And then you are no longer finding people who are in this cycle of using and abusing other people. I hope that this made sense, and I hope that this was useful for you. I would recommend that you try to get a lot of sleep. Do some meditation, especially under the moon if you can. If it's safe for you to be outside, spend some time under the moon or looking at the stars. It'll be helpful. Please do come back and watch some more of these videos that I have on this channel. I'd love to hear from you. I also have a Patreon where I post some of my stories. Some of them are actually inspired by the tarot. And I also do private readings if you're interested. If you'd like to purchase this deck, there is a link in the description below. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.